So welcome everybody. I wanted to go over some Excel prep work prior to the class. So we're going to be doing different, statistical formulas and things like that to get us acquainted with, some of the tools of Six Sigma. So we're going to start working on the calculations. Now, Excel is a very good statistical tool you can utilize. And I wanted to kind of walk us through and let you guys have some practice on some of these things prior to class. So if you would, I'm going to share my screen with you. If you would go to your Primetime Pizza case and then open up your Pizza Business Case Excel document. And when you do that, you get a document like this right here. Let me clean it up a little bit so it'll look like what you have. So when we look at this, this data, and we'll go over it during class, but basically this is a synopsis of the data we have going into our project, okay? And so what I want you to do is type mean, median, and we'll talk about standard deviation shortly. So the easiest way to do this is, we have these formulas right here, right? We have this data here, the number of pizzas sold. So what I want to do is I want to calculate the average number of pizzas sold. Well, I could add all these up handwritten way and then do it, or I can just say, I could come over here, hit equals, hit mean, average, excuse me, and then highlight this data. You want to make sure you don't have the 14 in there, the A14, because that's the totals and that's going to skew your data. So when you do that, our average number of pizzas sold is 7,714. Now, what I want us to do is, if you see this screen right here, this is how we change our decimal points. So it's right up here. Okay, so I only want 2 decimal points on there, right? And I'll fix this too, so 2 decimal points, because we're talking about dollars, and you can change everything from here. And the same thing with median, right? You want to make sure you double click these cells so it activates the prompt. Okay. So, standard deviation of a population, all you would do here is take STD. You'll see STDEV.P, because we're going to deal with population. Highlight that data, and it's as simple as that. Standard deviation of a sample, TDDV. And we'll go over this in class, what the difference in the actual handwritten formula way of them is. But what I wanted to do is just give you a little bit of prep so you can practice on your own. Now, we'll also calculate sigma in here, and sigma will create a little cheat sheet right here, if you will. And what I want you to do is just go over the tab. You're not going to have these other tabs because we'll work on those during class, but I want you to just name it cheat sheet. And then I want you to do errors, opportunities, defect percentage, yield percentage, and then finally I want you to type sigma level. So you have your errors, and let's say we're creating a product and we have 650 defects out of 8,000 opportunities. Well, your defect percentage is essentially what? Well, you just take that and divide that by that. And then your defect percentage, and it's already in percent. If it's not in percent, you'll just come over here and go to percentage, and that'll create there. Now your process yield is basically what is your good product. Now you could subtract it. You could subtract the 650 by the 8,000 and then take the difference and then divide that, and you can get a yield percentage here. Or you can just say 1 minus that. And as you can see, when we increase the decimal point, that literally when you add these two together, it equals 100%. Now your sigma level, and again, we're going to be talking about this through the class, and you've already seen other videos. I'm just showing you how to do these mathematically in Excel so you don't get stuck on it if you practice during the week of your pre-work training. Basically, we're going to say ABS, which turns the value into a positive. You're going to have a parentheses at top up, pops up, and you're going to say norm dot S dot inverse. Double click that, and then I want you to highlight your defect percentage, close the parentheses, minus 1.5, close the parentheses. Now I'm going to leave it on here so you can make sure you have that. Your formula needs to be the exact same as I have it. Now in class, people were saying, okay, you need to make sure you have B3. I want you to envision that this is always your defect percentage right here and here. Because your values or how you set up your chart can be different. So as long as your defect percentage is in here, we're okay. So you're going to click enter, and then it says our defect is 8.125%, but our sigma level is 2.89. If we close the decimal points on it, it'll be 2.9. Okay. Now, another focus that I think is really good, it's going to help you with a test, and not a lot of people know about this function of Excel, is I want you to go over here to data. Okay. And then I want you to go over here and go to what if analysis. And then go to goal seek. This is my favorite tool in Excel. And maybe I'm a super nerd, but this is my favorite tool. So essentially, I want to grab this cell and I want to change my sigma level. Okay. So I've got to set it to 6. We're going to change it to 6 sigma, right? By changing this cell. Now, if your formulas are all set up in here, all you have to do is this. It took a little bit there. Now, as you can see, your process yield is 100% and your sigma level is 6, right? Now, let me show you guys something else. So if I take it and I say 1 million opportunities here, right? 1 million, right? And I want to change this value to 6 by changing this value. All you do is you click on this box and you would click this cell and hit OK. Now you're going to learn that it's 3.4 defects per million opportunities. Okay. We're also going to learn you need a quality level of 99.99997%. So I want you to practice on this with your formula. Okay. I think it's very important you understand how to do Excel because this is the statistical tool that we're going to utilize during this course. So play around with it. I want you to get creative. So you can see all you got to do is stretch these over. But this is going to help you in the class, help with your learning if you're able to do these things. And we're going to go through the activities, but I think this is really good for you. Practice with the goal sheet because it's a fun feature.